Following a major arrest in Minnesota, police say they have arrested Vance Boelter. That happened last night, the culmination of a massive two-day manhunt, the largest in the state history. Boelter is suspected of shooting and killing a state Democratic lawmaker, Melissa Hortman, and her husband, Mark. Police also suspect Boelter shot and wounded Democratic State Senator John Hoffman and his wife, Yvette. They are now both awake, but still in hospital. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has described the shootings as politically motivated assassinations. Covering the story is NBC reporter Jay Gray, and he's in St. Paul, Minnesota, with us as well this morning. Jay, thank you for being with us this morning. Tell us more about that arrest, that big breaking news last night, and the allegations now against the suspect.
Yeah, Heather, and let's start with where we are right now at the Capitol, and you can see behind me what is a growing memorial to the victims here. We've already early this morning, well before we saw any sunlight, seen people coming by, paying their respects, obviously moved by what's happened. We are learning more about the massive manhunt, the largest in the history of this state. A team of officers and federal agents stalking the suspect through the woods and waiting until nightfall, using drones, using a chopper overhead to identify where the suspect was, really tightening a circle, a perimeter around him, and then just after nightfall, commanding him to surrender. He did. He crawled to officers on the ground. He was armed at the time of his arrest, but there was no confrontation. We are told that FBI agents were the first, according to Governor Tim Walz, to put their hands on him, and that it was state police who handcuffed him and took him into custody. This suspect, Vance Boelter, is 57 years old. He lived not far from where he was captured, which is about 50 miles or so outside of Minneapolis, a very rural area with woods, with fields, streams, and so that's what these agents and officers were working through as they began their manhunt and closed everything down with the arrest last night. He is in custody right now. We have been told that Boelter will be in court later this afternoon. He currently faces a multitude of charges, including second-degree murder, 2 counts, and attempted second-degree murder, 2 counts of that. We expect to see those go to first degree, and we are told that federal prosecutors are looking at this case as well, and he could be charged eventually with federal crimes, including perhaps terrorism. So a lot to unfold with all of that. Agents say that they're continuing in earnest their investigation, gathering all the evidence they can, starting to put together motives and exactly what happened, how all of this took place for this case.
So, Jay, obviously with that memorial behind, that's one form of reaction there in the state. We heard from the governor, Tim Walz, talking about politically motivated assassinations and how the suspect's actions have, in his word, altered the state of Minnesota. That was from a news conference last night. Can you just bring us another sense of, political violence of this nature, what the reaction has been to it in that state?
I think a lot of people here are stunned. I know that they were shocked when this happened, and now there is obviously a sense of relief that this man is no longer on the loose. But there's a lot of grief to work through here, to be real frank, and a lot of people who are very upset that this could happen here. And we heard it from the governor last night, calling for a more civil back and forth in politics, to have debates, but to shake hands afterwards. And the victims in this case, including Melissa Hortman, who was a former Speaker of the House here, a state legislator, that's what she was known for, bringing sides together and getting work done. He said, if we want to honor her, then we need to move forward in our daily lives with trying to get along a little better, to put it in the bluntest of terms. And so that's something that a lot of people are talking about right now. Again, relief that this man has been captured. A lot of people anxious to see this proceed through the court system, but there is also that grief that they are dealing with and will be for quite some time, Heather.
Jay, thank you very much. Jay Gray with us covering the story for NBC News.